Anna, you want to have your say? Come on.
Okay, yeah. I've had the frequencies since they first came into being. I'm very attached to them. Really don't like not being able to wear them, particularly the I am you, which just goes everywhere with me. Yeah, I've done a lot of clearings over the years. I always have a stack of affirmations with one set on. I have a stack with all the other people who I want to offer that to. Done all the clearings on the website, but I've probably done hundreds of clearings over the years of, you know, anything personal, relationship stuff. Somebody sends me an email that I react to, things that I'm having difficulty with. You know, they've been, you know, so much part of my life. And what's been intriguing, I actually think there's something happening in the collective field. We've talked about this, Thrity and I, of what the frequencies are now being asked to do. We met the end of last month and she shared the story that she's just shared about James, and it was like, oh, now that's interesting. Because one of the things that's been in my field for the past year or so has been doing a lot of ancestral clearing. When something comes up in a very big or charged way for me personally, I've cleared it and then sometimes felt that that doesn't feel quite complete. So I've actually done the clearing again for me and my whole ancestral line, and I usually divide it between the male and the female, the maternal and the paternal, and I will hold a photograph of my parents to represent the line, and that's been really transformative. However, what's just happened recently, my dad died just over a year ago, very peaceful death with the frequencies, as an aside. I've been working through my own process with it, which has been relatively straightforward in one way, but there's been a sense of some kind of grief being a bit stuck. I've just gone with it. I finally got around to tackling his estate just recently, and that brought up a lot of quite unexpected emotional stuff on all levels, which was very difficult, and I was in a kind of overload place, still am in some respects, but it was very intense. So of course I turned to the frequencies right away. I'd already done a clearing around doing this work, and it's still blowing up in my face, okay. A lot of panic, a lot of overload, panic to calm, not working. Reverse the frequencies, not working. Green it's not, nothing's working. Now this is really interesting. And so it just struck me like, oh, okay, well, what do I need to do about this? And quite synchronously, I'd had two conversations, one with Jackie and one with somebody else I'd done a workshop with, where something had come up around something with your father, not actually to do with me, but to do with perhaps somebody else. So anyway, in the moment, as you do, I thought, oh, Melissa had talked about using this in her work, a particular field around mother issues for my father, albeit he's passed on. Jackie had shared with me that she thought there might be an issue with a female member of the family, and I just thought, oh, I think I need to put the frequencies, the RTLFs, on my late father and his mother, who died when he was a child. I've done a lot of familial work around this, personal work, felt like it was a done deal. I feel at peace with it, but anyway, set it all up, photographs, literally, it was probably less than a minute. I just felt this wave of energy move through me, and it had been agitation and panic and overload that had been going on since I tried to deal with the estate, but it was unbelievable grief, probably more intense than when he'd actually died. And I just cried uncontrollably for about 10 minutes. I could barely breathe, you know, it was that really. And actually what I could hear inside was actually my late grandmother's voice, bear in mind I've never met her, saying, please take care of my boys. And I know from a family member that was the last thing that she said to her sister-in-law, please take care of my boys. She died at 33 from an ectopic pregnancy in the days before their antibiotics. So my father was left at 9 with the responsibility for a little brother, dad not coping terribly well. But what was fascinating was this wave came through. I processed it until it felt like it subsided, and that happened so quickly just with that. And it was like, oh, none of this was actually mine. But it was somehow playing out through me, I suppose, because I'm the one who's left actually still in a body who can work at this level. And it was extraordinary. And the synchronicity of it, you know, having the conversations that I'd had with people about there is something unresolved for your father that needs addressing. And then to have the conversation with Thrity, and it was suddenly very clear, nothing's working. This is not my issue, but it's an issue that impacts on me. And of course, through the familial line, it would. And what's interesting now for me in terms of synchronicity, that it's been a really difficult time for me since then, not with the same level of the grief intensity, but other much more personal stuff around my issues around taking care of myself, self-nurturing, again, issues I thought I'd long since dealt with. And so I've now got a little setup going on, because I've got lots of sets of frequencies. I thought it's family constellations time. So Dad and his mother has been joined by my late grandfather and other members of the family, my father's siblings. And then on the other side of my area where I do it, there's a whole constellated set of my late mother, her siblings and her parents, with the SRTLFs and the Divine Mother. And I suspect that's probably why I'm having somewhat turbulent time recently, but it just felt really clear that actually what you're getting down to is bedrock stuff, and actually doing it in the same old way isn't quite shifting that core stuff. It's about shifting anything that's unresolved in these family constellations. So that's where I am. It's work in progress, but I think it's extraordinary that this is what's emerging at this time, the synchronicity of what happened with you. And
yeah, that's why I thought this should be shared, because it's very funny when the frequencies don't work. You know, you don't know what is happening. Why is it happening?
I mean, I was absolutely sorry. What's going on here? It's like, this is not what's supposed to happen, and it's like, wow. But it was instant, you know. As soon as
it is instant. It is totally amazing. Yeah, instant.
And actually, it was a lot easier to process, knowing that actually this wasn't my stuck stuff. It was just something that I am the effect of by being part of that lineage.
It's part of being human.
And you know, my hope is, particularly with the message that we got from Gerald's father, that actually in doing that, it's cleared something for the whole of the line going backwards and forwards. It's like whatever's being held there, it means, although I don't have kids of my own, my brother does, that none of them have to carry the unresolved pain around orphanhood, unfulfilled mothering.
Thank you very much.
I'm a great fan of those. I could
Thank
say
you
a lot
very
more,
much.
but I don't think I need to. I think everything's been covered.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.